Hello everybody, welcome to my my WWE 2K22 custom APW universe introduction video. Alright, so long story short, I'll try to keep this quick. So as of right now, I am only posting this video on the YouTubes as an unlisted video, and I'll put the link on Facebook for friends and family to see. If I do choose to make this public, I am intentionally including the copywritten music, like songs playing right now, the stock music in the game, so that these videos are automatically ineligible for any kind of monetization. I'm not trying to be a sleazeball and make money off established wrestlers and stuff like that. This is purely for entertainment purposes, just because I've put so much time and work into what you're about to see that I kind of want to show it off. So this all started because me and my son have been going to these local independent wrestling shows for one company in particular, known as APW. If you live around the New England area, I would definitely recommend checking them out. They are awesome, very, very family, kid-friendly environment. The shows are always good. Anyway, so my boy asked me if I could make a couple of the APW wrestlers and the APW Championship and put them in the game. And, I was more than happy to oblige, because it's not like I've never made custom wrestlers in these games over the years. And I have this nasty little habit of taking what should be a very simple, easy project and blowing it out of proportion and going all out, and then 9 times out of 10, never finishing said project. Well, this was the 1 out of 10. So what ended up happening was, what started off as simply making a few wrestlers from the shows we go to turned into me looking all over the internet and scouring names from the history books of the shows we go to, other independent wrestlers all over the country, and I have brought them, and the names I found and picked to include have come together to form a full roster of 100 custom wrestlers, utilizing every custom wrestler slot in the game, maximum 100. So we've compiled a complete roster of 80 independent circuit wrestlers from all around the area, and some from other areas of the country, like I said, and then 20 original creations of my own design, some of which I've been using for years playing these games, some debuting this year for this roster. So we are in the process of recording matches and splicing together clips to decide who our starting champions are for when we start doing our actual shows in universe mode. We being me and my son. So what I want to do in this video is just kind of introduce everybody to all of the wrestlers that you'll be seeing in these videos. I'm not going to go into anything crazy. I'm going to go into the full roster list and show you everyone's name and picture and stuff like that. We'll look at the tag teams that I've thrown together, and the custom shows or arenas I've thrown together, the championships that I've thrown together. Now, obviously, with the creative options in the WWE games, there's only so many assets you can use. So some of these guys are going to look if you're familiar with the APW wrestling company, some of these guys are going to look, and girls, are going to look really close to how they actually look in the real world. Some are not going to look even remotely close, so I kind of, took creative liberties and did what I could to make them look good for the game. Again, we're letting the copyright music play so that if I do decide to make these videos public on the YouTubes, no monetization. Like I said, I'm not some slimeball looking to make money off of established independent contractors, wrestlers. This is purely for entertainment purposes, and yeah, what happens on this game does not reflect any actual storylines and such like that. I'm just a fan with way too much time on his hands who happens to be a big gamer too, and this is the culmination of my boy making a simple request of me and me going all out. When we do record matches, we'll get to that in the other one. Let's just focus on the introduction here. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the game, if it loads. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go over to our options menu and look at roster. I gotta tell you, I hate Brock Lesnar. I can't stand the guy, but since he came back with this new angry farmer character and actually doing his own talking, peace de resistance of Brock Lesnar. Anyway, off topic again. Alright, so I'm going to go to Edit Superstars, and since I used all 100 custom slots for custom characters, if we go to Custom Superstars, it's only going to show the customs. So I'm just going to, read off the name and where I first ran into this particular wrestler. Adam Booker, I first saw him in APW. One other thing. On top of the fact that I couldn't make everybody look exactly as they do in real life, I've got a thing for wrestlers coming out in entrance gear. So even if there's a wrestler I made that does not normally use entrance gear in my little fantasy world here, and I want to explicitly express that again, this is my fantasy world. This does not reflect any. This does not, this is mine and my son's little world that we created. Obviously, you might see some matchups in the game that we've seen in real life, but this is its own separate thing. We're not affiliated with any wrestling company. We're just fans, having some fun, doing our own thing. So, Adam Booker I first discovered in APW. He was helping out some chump champion that they had, and still have. Obviously, I chose to make him a bad guy. It says crowd reaction, boo, powerhouse class. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this stuff with everybody. This is my boy's character, and I did give him quite a bit of creative control over this, and I just suggested certain things. He wanted the Ultimate Warrior face paint. Sure thing, buddy, it's your character. Like I said, I went through the options of what you can put on for clothing and accessories, and for the most part, I let him pick whatever he want, as long as it wasn't something too ridiculous, because there are some pretty ridiculous looking creative parts in this game. So yeah, this is my boy's character. He's debuting this year in this year's game. Now, some of you that know me personally are probably going to be like, how the hell is he just debuting in this game? I thought you raised your kid to be a wrestler. Well, I did. But over the past year or so, he's really gotten into the wrestling with me, going to the shows and stuff. And he's starting to really find his way on the gaming stuff. So this was the time. This was the time to do this. So he is an original creation. Alina is another original creation. I actually pulled her name from a story that I've been writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting since I got out of high school. I want to say I made her for the first time in 2013, 2012 in the game. Obviously, she's undergone some character changes appearance-wise since then, because the available assets for creation in this game have changed a lot over the years. So this character, a lot of the characters I've made don't really look anything like they did before, but some of them actually do still look pretty close. Alright, so Alicia Edwards. So I've never seen her wrestle in person. She was one of the names I found scouring the internet to build up a better women's roster, because I want to have a women's roster. Women are good wrestlers just like the dudes, and I want that to be showcased here. So I found her just scouring through the internet for independent pro wrestlers. Angel Sinclair. I know her from watching her wrestle at APW. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to read off all the stuff here. You can see that she's set to be a bad guy. crowd reaction, boo, and whatnot. Whoops. Forget you saw that. Alright, so Araya is a debuting original character of my own for this year. She was originally going to be AJ Flash's manager. We've undergone some changes since then. Now, in this case, you can, like on her tab, you can see that her main manager is a fella named Spike. Anybody who's seen like the 2K, I don't know, 17, 18 videos, the last ones I did, knows that Spike is a reoccurring original character of mine. So, again, she was originally supposed to be my boy Flash's partner. She wound up with Spike instead after some rearranging of the mixed tag teams. Now, I'm probably in the minority here, but I actually like the concept of mixed tag team matches and mixed tag teams, as long as they're not the Miz and Maurice, because they both suck, and as obnoxious as my commentary can be sometimes, they just make your ears bleed. Armani Chaos, I know this guy from watching him at APW, but I'm pretty sure, like most of the people I see at the live shows, this guy wrestles all over the place. So he's another one that I couldn't really make him look perfect, so I did the best I could. But you know, I think the flashy, colorful clothing is pretty accurate. Ashley Grace. So I randomly found this name on the Instagram when I was going through and like following all the wrestlers that I go and watch on a monthly basis now. I don't know much about her. I've never seen her wrestle in person, so I just did her appearance based off, you know, social media pictures and like, you know, other stuff, which is the case for a lot of these people. You know, I just made them as close as like their pictures indicate that they dressed for matches, but in her case, they didn't really have the right jacket, so I improvised. Ashley Vox, I dug her name out from like the history archives of the shows we go to. Yeah, that's it. I dug her out from the history books of the shows that we used to go to. Ava Everett. She was another one that randomly popped up on Instagram as I was going through following independent wrestlers. Azaria. Alright, so this is another debuting original character whose name is pulled from the story I've been working on for like, you know, years upon years, and will probably never finish. But hey, at least the names are going somewhere, right? So yeah, she's a custom original character. So I'll just say this now. I got a little lazy with my original bad guys and good guys. Alina obviously had a unique appearance, basically looking like a female Grim Reaper. But this one is one of 4 heel females that basically look the same and dress the same. It's just their hair color and anything reflecting that hair color in their suits are different. At first it was out of laziness because I was like running out of steam at this point when I was making them. And then I'm like, you know what? My laziness in creation actually paid off because this is great. We've had plenty of like, you know, family stables in the world of wrestling, and yeah, but we'll roll with it. So we've got like a set of 4 basically twin sisters. Then their tag team partners, when we get to them, are basically a team of 4 twin brothers with the same thing, different color hair and whatnot. And then yeah, you know, Death and Death and Alina have a much more unique appearance, shall we say. Bear Boulder. I've never actually seen this guy wrestle. I found him looking for somebody else. Actually, so Bear Bronson I saw wrestle in APW once, and then when I went to find him, I found his tag team partner. So Obviously, it was a no-brainer to put Bear Boulder and Bear Bronson in this game as a tag team. Becca, I've seen wrestle in APW, but she's everywhere, and she's awesome to watch. Big Gun Jim Sargent. This guy is a legend in APW, and 100% legend. Putting him in this game was a very easy decision, absolute no-brainer. Like, you can't, like, he needed to be in this a part of this creation that I've done. And by creation, I mean making the custom universe in the game. Again, I did not create any of these wrestlers except for my 20 original characters, which I am blatantly saying who they are. And again, as far as like the independent circuit wrestlers I'm showing you guys, I'm just a fan. I don't have any official affiliation to any wrestling company or individual wrestler. Brad Cashew. I used to know this guy as Charlie Cashew, and he was a face when I used to watch him, but apparently he's a jackass now, so putting him in as a jackass was a no-brainer. Brandon Webb, I know from watching him at APW. I've only seen him a couple times, but friends of mine who have been going to these shows like since they started said that he was a pretty big name in the history books. So obviously I threw him in. Doesn't look perfect because, again, you know, only so many available assets in the game for like face paint and stuff like that. But I'm happy with how he came out. All right, Mecha Brian Johnson, but the game didn't like me trying to force the whole name in there. I could actually probably go back and change it now, but so I took some very creative liberties with his entrance gear, because again, I got a thing for wrestlers coming out with entrance gear. This is actually a guy that comes out with no entrance gear. The way this guy acts, from the times that I've seen him, he almost comes off heelish, but he actually does pretty good as a face too. So I've seen him wrestle in APW. I know he wrestles for somebody else. Whether it's, I don't want to say it because I don't remember for sure where he actually wrestles now, but he's all over the place too. Brian Malonis, the Kingpin, as he was once called. I've seen this guy wrestle in APW. He's been in Ring of Honor. I think he's been in a few other places too, but he was in APW for a long time, and that's where I know him from. And this was another case of, yeah, he's definitely going in. Bugsy Stone, I haven't seen this guy in a while, but he's another one that I know from going to the APW live shows. Alright, Caleb Cole. This is another new original wrestler from the depths of my own mind, making his debut this year. He is loosely based off of the main career mode character in WWE 2K22, as far as entrance and stuff goes. Oh, right. So you're not going to see any of this in this particular video, but all of the independent wrestlers that I made into this game, I basically picked a WWE superstar from the game and gave them their entrance and their music, like their entrance motion, music, and moveset. Some of them I did based on what finishing moves I've seen them use, or what their personality appears to be like, and then some of them I just said, okay, we're running out of options, let's see how this one looks. But honestly, I think they all came out pretty good. I mean, even if they're not accurate to who these independent wrestlers are when they get into the ring themselves. But anyway, Caleb Cole, another of my original creations. This is my first year making him. Carmine, I gotta fix some of these names. So Carmine the Crimson. So any of you guys who are watching this that saw my backyard wrestling videos that we did with me, my son, and my cousin before she took a very unfortunate landing on the trampoline when reasonably does not want to get back on there. I totally get it. This character is based on her, and obviously since we were going with a Crimson gimmick, like almost everything on her is Crimson, this is the first year that I've put her in the game. We'll start speeding this up a little bit. Cassius Hall is a wrestler I've seen from APW. And again, I'm not a pro wrestler, I'm not a wrestling coach, so I can't offer, like, you know, truly informative opinions on how these guys are in the ring, but I gotta tell you, from a fan standpoint, this guy puts on a hell of a match every time he steps into that ring. He's awesome. This guy here, Chase Del Monte, I first saw him wrestle in APW, and then he's wrestled in other companies all around. So obviously I tried to make him, and he ended up looking more like Kenny Omega than himself. So I just went with it because, again, not all of these guys are going to look exactly like they do, and that's something that bugged me for the first, 20 or 30 wrestlers I made, and then I just kind of accepted it and said, okay, let's just make them look as cool as we can. Chris Loggins, I've seen him wrestle in APW, but he's another one who's all over the place. I can tell you I am a fan of the show Archer, so every time I see this guy wrestle or even see his name, I'm just cracking all kinds of Kenny Loggins and Danger Zone jokes, and, you may not find it funny, but, I'm cracking these jokes for my own amusement, so. Okay, this guy. So, Cicero. I saw him in APW, and this dude instantly became, like, my favorite freaking guy in these shows. Like, something about this dude, I'm just like, you are my favorite. I will scream at the top of my lungs and cheer for you, sir. Now, I haven't seen him wrestle in quite a while. Hopefully, I'll see him again sometime. But yeah, he is like he was and always likely always will be like my favorite guy that I've ever seen wrestle live. So, all right. So this guy here, Cody Ward. I knew him from APW as the commissioner for a time. So I put him in here with the intention of using him only as a manager. But I mean, it's a video game. We can do whatever we want. So he likely will wrestle at some point in the game. Danny Miles. This guy's incredible. I know he wrestles for APW and other companies all around, Chaotic, Lucky Pro 2, I think. This guy is like, even when he's doing his heel shtick, which is what I have him doing in the game, like, it doesn't matter if he's playing face or heel, he is incredible in the ring, has no fear and no filter on the mic, and he's just awesome. Davienne, I've seen her wrestle a couple times in APW. I think she's Chaotic Wrestling Champion right now. I mean, unless the site's like really outdated, but I've seen her wrestle a couple times, and like I said, I want to build a good women's division, and she has a very good reputation among the independent wrestling community, so putting her in was a no-brainer. Okay, I mentioned him earlier by accident. Death. Now, when I first... excuse me. This damn cough just will not fade away. So, when I first made this guy back in like 2012, 13... I don't remember what year I really got big into making custom wrestlers, but whatever year it was, I know this guy's almost 10 years old, as far as like from when he was created. So... the first few years I made this guy, he just had a scary looking outfit and a black skull mask. Well, I finally got with the frickin' times of custom wrestlers, and I found this really cool skull looking face paint and decided to give him that. I made this guy as creepy as possible. Like, I wanted him to have like a very Grim Reaper appearance. And he is the tallest of the custom wrestlers I put in this game. I maxed out his height. Like, I put him at the max height that they'll allow you to make a character. And yeah, I basically made him a scary looking killing machine. But he's one whose appearance has undergone some significant but not drastic changes since I first made him. Delilah Hayden. So this is an interesting case because her name popped up on social media when I was going through and following wrestlers and stuff. And then I did actually get to see her wrestle in person, and she's pretty damn good. So, again, I want to build a good women's division. So, my goal here was to keep an even number of face and heels, good guys and bad guys for non-wrestling fans. Which, I don't know why I said that, because if you're a non-wrestling fan, you're probably not watching this anyway. I wanted to have an even number of good and bad in both the men's and women's divisions, and I did the same thing with like the tag teams too. So, Delmi Exo, I'm not sure. Never seen her in person. So when I found Ashley Vox in like the the APW history books, I went looking for her on the social medias, and I saw that she had a tag team partner. I'm like, you know what? That's perfect because I need a strong women's tag team division. Here we go. Demon Ortiz. This is a case of where I couldn't make him look quite how he does, so I took the creative liberties, especially with the entrance gear. I saw this guy wrestle in APW, and he's like right up there with Cicero as being one of my favorite guys I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it's also a case of I haven't seen him wrestle in a while. I think he might be done, but again, no official affiliation. I'm just a fan. I don't know. I just hope to see him in the ring again someday. All right. Ed Hunt, Crazy Uncle Ed. This man is a very, very prominent figure in the APW shows that me and my boy go to. He's actually an older gentleman with some noticeable... I'm trying to say this politely. He has a very seasoned appearance. I think that's probably the politest way to say it. But I chose to ignore that in the game, so I made him pretty much as he appears. I got to give him an alternate attire with a nice Hawaiian-looking shirt, but now I'm not making it a point to go through like entrances and who has what presets. You can see that as we do matches, but I felt I had to give this man Vince McMahon's entrance and moveset. Just like Cody, he is intended to be a manager only, but it's a video game. We can do whatever we want, so I'll probably put him in the ring at some point. Elia Markopoulos. All right, so this is actually where this whole thing started. So this guy's been champion at the shows that we go to for a long time. He is... Alright, I'm going to do this in character, like, kayfabe first. This guy's a cheating slime ball. Alright, now I'll speak out of kayfabe. Honestly, this guy is probably one of the best heels I've ever freaking seen in wrestling. He gets on the mic. There's no delay. He doesn't have Roman Reigns syndrome. This guy is fire on the mic. And he is good in the ring. Like, you can tell that he is a very technically gifted wrestler. But he also does the whole, heel cowering and running away and cheating thing really well. Like I said, this guy's one of the best heels in wrestling that you can watch. This was the first one that my boy asked me to make. And then I told him, I'll make him, and I'll make the championship, and I'll put it on him. But if you want to actually make him defend it, then we're going to have to make at least a few more wrestlers from that show so that we can, put them with our custom characters. And then it just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until we got to where we are now. Gabby Gilbert, she's another name I found just while on Instagram following other wrestlers. And I saw that she actually has a tag team partner. I said, okay, Perfect. Let's put her in. Galbar K. I saw when I've seen him wrestle, he has been in a tag team with Chris Loggins, and yeah, I've seen him wrestle. He's good, so in the game he goes. Gallo. He was a regular in APW. Haven't seen him in a little bit, but he's part of a tag team that basically had a vampire thing going on, and I'm kind of a sucker for fantasy monsters and all kinds of other just fantasy stuff medieval times and sorcery and all that. So plus he is an APW regular, so it would have been another no-brainer to put him in. H2O Ryan Waters. This is an interesting fella. He is able to go back and forth from face to heel depending on who he's up against. He's actually pretty good, and when he's playing a heel, it's really fun to get him all fired up by chanting Gatorade. Isana, I've seen her wrestle in APW once, and then she was one of the ones that afterwards popped up when I was going through the wrestlers that I knew I've seen a little bit more of, and I figure, okay, yep, let's put her in. Honestly, basically any female name that I saw among the independent community, I put them in because I want a strong roster. And if they've been doing this for a long time, then obviously their reputation is good, and there's a reason they've been doing it a long time. Jessie Nolan, same thing. I took a lot of creative liberties with her entrance gear. I've seen her wrestle a couple times, and again, no reason not to put her in the game. Mr. Joe Moakley, or Champagne Joe Moakley was the last nickname that I knew of. So every roster needs good bad guys, and this guy is a really good bad guy. That's about it. Jora Joel. When I first started going to these shows, his name was Robo, and then he ended up getting involved with AEW. But he's awesome. He's incredible in the ring, and it's not often. Actually, I can't really speak for that, so scratch that. It's really cool that even though he's gone on to other things, that he still comes back every once in a while and does a match where he started. So that's always a cool thing. JT Dunn, I found this guy on the Chaotic Wrestling page. I don't actually know where he is now. I know he's a heel. I saw a picture of him as a tag team with Del Monte, so again, we brought him in. Alright, so Kylie Payne. Now, she is the original model for what this year has become the four twin sisters that are heels. Her I made for the first time in 2014. So way back in 2014, I had this idea that I was going to do a whole roster of custom characters like this, until I realized the PS3 and the whatever Xbox at the time was out only had 20 custom wrestler slots. Can't really do a whole custom roster with 20 slots, so that idea got put on the back burner. But 8 years later, here we are. So again, she was the blueprint for the quartet of bad girls. I think that's about it. Caleb Conley. I've only seen this guy wrestle at the shows we go to once, but he does have a reputation around the area as an independent wrestler. So I put him in. All right, Kalen Connors. This guy is the blueprint for the the four twin brothers. Originally, his name was Kevin Connors when I made him back in 2014, but as I made his brothers and gave them like these more okay, I gotta be careful what I say because I don't want anyone to think I'm like dissing on certain names. Okay, so you've got your common names like, you know, mine, like, you know, Tony. Is there like any way I can really explain this without it sounding like I'm picking on people for their names? Basically, I just changed his name to be more in alignment with the names I gave his brothers. There. That shouldn't upset anybody, I think. I mean, if you get offended, you get offended. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go out of my way to piss people off, you know? Kennedy Copeland. I've seen her wrestle in APW a couple times, and she is, I mean, I've seen her wrestle a couple times, and she's awesome, so in the game she goes. Kevin Giles, I saw in APW, like, when I first started going, and then, I don't know exactly where he is right now, but, I believe he is still wrestling. Okay, so this is, Cassius Hall's brother. Yeah, Cassius Hall's brother. I've seen him just start wrestling the last, like, couple shows that me and my boy have gone to, and he's awesome too, so it made sense to put him in the game, and then I've actually got him and his brother as a tag team. Kid V. Oh my god. Alright. This dude is, like, there's not a word better than awesome, is there? This dude's awesome. So, let's address this right off the bat. The reason he's got bunny ears on is because when we went to like an Easter timed show, he came out dressed as the Easter bunny, and then he ended up I think he ended up getting involved in a match. And he's just awesome. You know, he comes out, he's got this really upbeat, like classical almost music. He's all about the power of positivity, like, you know, good vibes, good energy, love and peace. And he's wicked good in the ring too. Like he's awesome. And I'm going to use the word awesome a lot, but you know, a lot of these guys are awesome. You know, it's just how it is. A lot of these guys are awesome. Kira. This is another name that I pulled from my story that I'll, you know, maybe finish before I die. She's obviously a cut and paste of Kylie Payne with the hair and certain parts of the outfit changed from blue to yellow. Big Man Congo. Alright. So he's a newer APW wrestler, and he is a heel. Like, you know, he's supposed to be a complete a-hole, but honestly, every time the guy comes out, I can't help but root for him. Like, it's just cool to see these big guys come out, and this might actually have something to do with it. All right, so he is a big man. He is a very big man, but he doesn't move like a big man. He's got some agility, and you know, I like that because, you know, I'm also a fairly large man, and you know, seeing guys his size move around the way they do kind of gives me a little bit of hope, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, he is a bad guy, and it is reflected on the roster. Chris Statlander. So I kind of was in a toss-up on putting her in the game because she is currently an All Elite Wrestling superstar, but you know, I saw her wrestle in APW when she was still on the in the independent scene, so in she went. Leon Marks, Big Red. This guy's been around since 13, 14, whatever year I started making these custom wrestlers. He looks nearly the same as he always had, except I gave him the that blue makeup on one eye is new. His hairstyle and color is new, and that pseudo Saiyan armor I gave him to wear on the way out to the ring is new. Now, again, I don't even remember if I mentioned this or not, so I really haven't made any custom wrestlers outside of what's mandatory for the games since, like, I don't know, 2018 maybe was the last time I made customs, maybe 19. But yeah, Leon Marks, Big Red as I'm calling him now with the red hair. He is a returning original character. Leah. She was originally my manager. She is a returning character from like years past. I made her for the first time in, again, 13, 14, whatever year it was. Now, her appearance has changed drastically over the years that I've made her. As I realized, I grew up a little bit and realized that, being a female wrestler wasn't about dressing provocative. It was about, having in-ring talent. I mean, obviously she is still dressed a little provocatively compared to some of the other female superstars, but, it is what it is. I made her how I wanted to make her. I actually made Araya with a copy and paste of her, and I changed like anything purple to pink and anything pink to purple. So they are essentially twin sisters, just face twin sisters. She was my manager. I moved her over to be Leon's manager. Now my new manager, Liane, another name from my story characters. She is debuting brand new this year. So I originally was going to design her with kind of like a skateboarder look, hence the baseball cap. I almost went with like a Cora Jade WWE superstar template, and then I just went wild and just started doing whatever I wanted, and this is how she came out. I'd actually made myself a different new manager, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But AJ wanted the first new manager I made for myself for him, and then I made this girl afterwards, and I think it all worked out. So obviously she's my character's primary manager, and my character is her primary manager. Little Mean Kathleen. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is a case of where the face does not really look close. She always looks angry. She's a very, very, very angry, tiny girl. And she's awesome to watch in the ring. Like, she's great. But that was the only angry preset face that I could find, so I went with it. Love Doug. I've seen this guy wrestle a couple times in APW. And yeah, I mean, he's basically Cupid as a wrestler. I mean, how can you not put him in the game? Luscious Latasha. Seen her in APW a couple times, and yeah, so she's in the game. We'll speed this up a little bit now. Monty Aries. Oh my god. If anybody is going to replace Cicero as my favorite independent scene wrestler, it's going to be this guy. Like, this guy rallies a crowd like very few other people can. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's good. He's good. Not that these wrestlers get on the microphone very often, because, and the independent circuit's a little different. You don't get like the 30-minute promos when we all came to see wrestling, so that's another cool thing. But when these guys do talk smack back and forth to each other, this guy's good. Matt Magnum, I saw him wrestle in APW as Ryan Waters' tag team partner, so I put him in and put their tag team in the game. Max Smash Master. Let me tell you a little story about this guy. First time we saw this guy wrestle in APW, in the middle of his match, he was talking about how he wanted a meatball sub. And then he went and got his meatball sub, and then wound up in a second impromptu match later on that night. So at least once a match, when we see this guy wrestle, we get a nice meatball subs chant going. He's cool. He's like one of the he's a big, tall powerhouse, and he's cool. Michael Connors. So this is one of Kaylin Connors' new twin brothers that suddenly appeared this year when I decided to make him for the first time. Mike McCarthy. I don't know I don't know what his status is right now, but he was a pretty damn cool wrestler when we saw him in APW. So his name, that it wouldn't let me, I don't think it would let me fit the whole thing. I know there's a reason I didn't put it in there. So he used to call himself the Masshole. And, you know, I used to live in Mass, and I feel that he captured the essence of the Masshole stereotype quite well. Great heel, super fun to watch. Alright, so Mortar. Obviously, you can tell by the helmet that he's partners with Smashmaster. He's cool too. Like, I've been seeing him for most of the time that we've been going to these shows, and the cool thing with him is, like, he's one of the guys that can play face or heel really well. Alright. Mosh Pit. I just saw this guy for the first time a couple months ago. I wasn't going to put him in the game, but I decided to use him to overwrite another heel that just I originally intended to put in the game, but just really wasn't feeling it as we got closer to the end. So we put this guy in instead. Nico Silva. Oh my god, this guy is awesome. I know we're back to the word awesome, but this guy really is awesome. He is like, yeah, he's awesome. I mean, that's really all I can say. Very good in the ring. Probably one of the better, like probably one of the best faces that they've got right now, in my opinion. Owen Brody, the O-Bro. Yeah, here's another one. He's a good heel. So obviously, like, you know, the kayfabe story, I've got nothing good to say about the guy. But, you know, ignoring the storylines and everything else, he is a good heel. Him and Joe Moakley were a tag team, or they were at least fighting together when I first started going, and because of how I set up their presets, like from the WWE superstars in the game, it made a whole lot of sense to put them back together as a tag team in the game. Paris Van Dale. I've seen this girl wrestle a handful of times going to the APW shows. She's kind of like Maurice, except her voice doesn't make my ears bleed. She does the what's the non-insulting version of this word? She embodies the spirit of the diva. You know, she's one of those ones that's very quick to run out of the ring to avoid getting the you know what knocked out of her. She's a good heel. She is. I mean, again, all the characters I put in this game are good. You know, awesome, as I keep saying. Raylyn Payne. This is obviously another original creation character. This is another one of the now set of 4 heel twin sisters, making her debut this year. Randy Rivera. Alright, so I've watched this guy wrestle in APW like quite a bit over the last year or so. Maybe not quite that long. Don't know where he is right now, but he is awesome. Like this dude, I know we're back to awesome, but the way this guy flies around the ring, he is probably one of the most technically gifted wrestlers that I've seen, like going to the live shows. This dude moves around like Rey Mysterio in his prime, plain and simple. Retro AG. It's supposed to be Anthony Green, but it wouldn't let me fit the whole thing, so I put him in as Tony Green. So he came out looking like, you know, somebody you'd see out of like the 70s or 80s, but doesn't look quite like him, mostly because of the hairstyle, but I had to find the hairstyle where the headband would actually look right instead of like being over the hair. So this guy's character, I mean, I've seen him wrestle in APW a couple times, but he's been all over the place. I know he's been involved in All Elite Wrestling. His whole character he is like a mix and match of all kinds of stuff from like references from like 70s and 80s culture. I think 70s too, maybe more 80s, but or even early 90s. But he's awesome. Like, again, he's just awesome. Okay, Ricky Smokes. The last time I saw Ricky Smokes wrestle, he was going by the name Ricky Archer, and him and Brad Cashew, formerly known as Charlie Cashew, were tag team partners. So I did put him in the game. I made them a tag team, and once I realized that they were both heels now, I just made them a heel tag team. Rena Reyes, an original character of my own design, debuting for the first time this year. She is based off of the female character from the 2K20 career mode. So naturally, her and Caleb are a mixed tag team, and each other's primary managers. Sarah Bully Jade. I've seen her in APW a few times. She's a good heel. She's got that typical heel attitude, but she's not a cowardly heel. She will walk up to someone and just start wailing on them, which is admittedly fun to watch. Alright, so that was the heel Sarah. Here's the face Sarah. So I've seen her wrestle in APW, and a few other times when me and people I used to be friends with tried out a couple of in-ring seminars, but that's a story for another time. So I couldn't quite make her the way she actually looks, so she's one of the ones where I just said the hell with it, let's just make her look cool. And I'm pretty happy with how she came out. Obviously she's a face, very cheerful, high energy in-ring presence. Savannah Lord, I've seen her maybe twice when her and Angel were doing a couple tag team matches. But I mean, again, I need a strong women's tag team division, so it was a no-brainer to put her in the game and put them together as a tag team. Alright, Scott Reed. So, when you see this guy, yeah, he's an APW wrestler, or that's where I know him from anyway. When you see this guy, your first thought is, holy sugar, that's Brock Lesnar. So I did give him like a Brock Lesnar-esque appearance, and then I just took some liberties with the jean vest and the hat for the entrance. Scotty Slade. I've only seen this guy once. All right, so I've told the story to some of you. This is friends and family directed commentary. So this is the guy that walked Elia around to all four sides of the ring during their title match and let kids get up and slap him. This is the guy that walked Elia over to me and my boy. Me and my buddy each got up and took an arm, and of course, this was okay as being part of the show. Obviously fans aren't allowed to actually get up and start hitting wrestlers. At least I don't think so. pretty big game changer if we could, huh? But my boy got up, and honestly, this is going to be one of like my forever most prominent memories of going to these shows. My boy got up, looked at Elia, and said, "This is for calling me a girl last month, you mother effer," and just cracked him. And it was great because we're on our way out, and as adults, we tend to say words in front of our children that we shouldn't say. And then the kids pick them up, and we're like, "Where did you get that from?" And then we look in the mirror, it's like, "Oh yeah," and then we say the bad words again. So my kid looked at me and said, "Am I in trouble for saying the F word in public?" I'm like, not this time. This time we'll let it slide. Anyway, Yeah, Scotty Slade, awesome to watch in the ring. Okay. I've got so many vegan jokes I could crack right now. What's this guy doing wrestling? Shouldn't he be eating grass in someone's backyard? So the cool thing about this guy is, yes, he's got vegan in his name, but he's not an obnoxious tool bag about it like frickin', when Daniel Bryan was the Earth's champion. Worst gimmick they ever did for him, by the way, but off topic. So I put this guy in the game, and I gave him his all green outfit, so we can always feel like he's surrounded by grass. And yeah. Okay, Serenia. Again, pulled the name from my story. This is the new manager that I originally made for myself. AJ came downstairs while I was making this one and said, "Who's that?" I'm like, "This is my new manager," and he looked me dead in the eye and told me very sternly that this was going to be his new manager or else. So I didn't feel like getting my butt whooped by my own kid again that day, so I just let him have it. And then I made Liane for my character. Seth Oran, prominent APW wrestler. He is the other half of the tag team with Gallo that did the whole vampire thing. And again, these two are my favorite tag team, even though they're currently not wrestling together, but they will pretty much always be my favorite tag team. And, besides the ones that we have for my custom creations, because, of course I'm biased towards the guys that I made myself for the game. Shannon Levangie. Again, very high energy, positivity, ring presence. Technically gifted wrestler. She's good. She's very good, and I cannot wait to see her wrestle again whenever that may be. All right, little Miss Sierra. I saw her wrestle for a couple months in a row when I first started going to the APW shows. I'm not sure if she really is a heel, but I needed to balance it out, and she definitely had a few moments that seemed heel-ish, so we kind of just ran with it. Alright, Spike. Here's another original creation that's been around since, again, 13, 14, whatever year it was. He's undergone some changes in terms of his attire, but the hair has always been the same. And of course, whoever's moveset that I gave him varies from year to year too, but yeah, Spike is a returning original character. Stelina Cardinal. She popped up on Instagram randomly as I was following other wrestlers. I saw that just from what I saw on her Instagram and checking out the name across the wrestling wikis and stuff like that, I said, okay, you know what? Let's put her in. She'd be good, and we can also put her in a tag team with Delilah. Stiff Mike. I've seen him heavily involved with the APW show since we started going. He's a guy who kind of sits this is my opinion as a fan. He's like a guy that sits right on the line of face and heel, kind of literally 1 foot on each side of the line. I remember him being a heel and being a part of a 3-man heel tag team, so that's how I put him in the game. That to me is where he was the most exciting to watch, was as a very, very, very badass heel. Swilly O'Brien. So this guy I've seen wrestle a couple times. He's another case of, am I going to put this guy in or am I going to put this guy in? And I think he's the more interesting looking wrestler of the two, so I put him in. I don't think I got to tell y'all whose character this is. So, little interesting story about the name here. So when I was working for a different job than what I have now, I was given this nickname, and I just ran with it. So, you know, I've been giving my character that nickname like since the year I was given that nickname. I'm like, that's got a nice idea. I even figured like if I ever actually got to go and wrestle, which I think the ship has sailed on that one, but I was gonna be that guy, just like, you know, walking down to the ring with like, you know, a cup of tea, you know, just casually sipping it as I walked down, and just kind of looking around, and like, you know, maybe if somebody got in my face, I'd, you know, take the cup and throw the tea in their face, or maybe just bash them over the head with it, you know. But so this, you know, my character, I've never really changed my character too much. I've always kept the attire like as close as I could. I mean, the jacket varies from year to year, and the hairstyle varies from year to year, but I mean, for the most part, I've kept myself the same. Taylor Hendricks is another one that just kind of popped up on social media as I was following other wrestlers, and I said, okay, yep, let's throw her in. And then I made her and Kennedy Copeland a tag team and gave them matching entrance outfits. Teddy Goods, I've seen him wrestle a couple times at APW. He's good. I mean, again, everybody I put into the game is good. Awesome, even. I did opt to make him and Scotty Slade a tag team just because I needed tag teams. Trigger the OG, another one. He popped up on Instagram when I was following wrestlers, so I checked him out, and he does wrestle. I believe he still wrestles on the independent scene, and I saw that he used to be with Danny Miles, Del Monte, and so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, let's put him in. Tyler Nitro. Seen him wrestle in APW for a little while. He was actually a face, and then they had him pitted against another face in a match, and he was the one that decided to go heel. And he played it off pretty good, but, you know, haven't seen him since, and since the last time I saw him, he was a heel, and I needed more heels to keep the balance. I made him a heel. Valentina Vasquez, another name I saw that just popped up on Instagram as I was going through following wrestlers. From what I can tell on like the social medias and like the independent wrestling news and all that, her and Gabby Gilbert are a tag team, and again, I want a good women's tag team division, so I have them as a face tag team for the women's division. Vanity Vixen. Okay, I'm honestly disappointed on this one because I cannot find a single preset face on this game that actually looks good with the hair. So she's one of those ones where I'm still trying to find a way to make her look good. So she is like, Vanity Vixen is the APW women's division. She's been there just about every time I've gone. I know she's been there for a long time, from way before I started going. She is incredible. She is a fan favorite. She is a face. She rallies the crowd. There are not enough good things I can say about her. So obviously, she is going into the game. Vern Vicalo. This is another guy that's like up in my top 5 favorites and always will be. He isn't wrestling right now to the best of my knowledge, but again, I mean, you know, awesome, incredible, spectacular, whatever word you want to use. This guy is one of the best that I saw going to these live shows. All right, Victor Connors, another newly debuting original this year. One of Kaylin's new twin brothers. The Widow Belmont. She is another stable. Not stable. She's another staple of APW Women's Division. Her and Vixen are like right up there together. I haven't seen her wrestle as much as I've seen Vixen wrestle, but I can tell you when she gets in the ring, you are in for a treat. Now, obviously the mask that I have her wearing isn't quite accurate. She actually comes out in like more of an opera mask, and last time I saw her, she came out in like an opera mask and a wedding dress, but those assets are not in the game, so she ended up looking more like Asuka with a cape, which is fitting since, side note, I did give her Asuka's entrance and finishing moves and all that. And our last one, the last original creation, Xander Connors, the third of the new twin brothers I made for Kaylin. Newly debuting this year, of course. Okay, so that's all of the custom superstars we've made. That's all 100 of them. So I kind of bounced back and forth on this one. So I was going to have there were going to be 4 5-person tag teams or stables. And then what I did instead was I made 2 different 3-person stables for each group. And I just had the person I considered to be the leader of the team, which obviously would be biased towards my own characters, as the head of both variants of the team. Also gave me the opportunity to have different entrances and musics within the tag team and stuff like that. So we have the overall group Absolution, which of course I stole from a pre-existing WWE tag team. But the first one is Leah, Araya, and Liane. The second one is Liane, Serenia, and Rena Reyes. Anger Management is Isana and Jesse Nolan. I gave them the name Anger Management because I've seen them both lose their cool in the ring, and they do it so well. Alright, Apocalypse. Def, Victor, and Xander, and then the other Apocalypse, Def, Kaylin, and Michael. Bear Country, Bear Bronson and Bear Boulder. Cosplay Club, Delilah Hayden and Stelina Cardinale. Danger Zone, again, I told you, whenever I hear Chris Loggins, I got all kinds of Danger Zone jokes to make. So, Gal Barque, Chris Loggins, and Davien are Danger Zone. I threw Davien in there because her and Gal Barque are married now, I think. Alright, Dark Disciples, number 1. Alina, Kira, and Azaria. And then the other Dark Disciples is Alina, Kylie Payne, and Raylyn Payne. Diva and the Bully, as I said, Paris Van Dale and Sarah Jade. We have the Diva and the Bully. The name was a no-brainer. A little unoriginal, but, tag team names just aren't my area of expertise. FAFO, F around and find out. That is actually what these two called themselves when they were wrestling together, so that was a no-brainer. Now, these two obviously never wrestled together. This is a pairing of my own design. And they were both, high energy, happy-go-lucky, peace, love, and happiness, so Good Vibes Only seemed like, a reasonable name for this team. HBIC. Yeah, honestly, I basically just pulled this one out of a hat. We've got F around and find out, and then we've got head you-know-what in charge. Just, now this is a pairing of my own creation. These two, I've never seen these two wrestle together. But again, I want a good tag team division. So it made perfect sense to take Cassius and his brother and put them in a tag team. And I did steal the Hype Bros from, who was it? Ryder and Hawkins. Let's see. Nightbreed, Seth Aran, Gallo, and then Vixen's usually with them. Again, I haven't seen them wrestle together in a while, but I want them in the tag team division for the game. The OG unit. And again, this pairing is based on Chaotic Wrestling's website, which may, so I don't know if this is still a thing, but I saw it, and I wanted it to be a thing in the game, so it's a thing in the game. OP. I mean, obviously OP is supposed to be, I don't know, I mean, I hear OP, and, you know, the gaming language instincts immediately go to overpowered, but I don't know if that's actually what it's supposed to mean. But the last time I saw these two wrestle together, that is what they called themselves, so that was a no-brainer. Okay. I do not know if these two ever wrestled together. I have never seen them wrestle together. But, I mean, we've got Brandon Webb, whose nickname is the Devil's Reject, and Demon Ortiz, so I figure let's throw these two together and give them something about Demon in the tag team name. Alright, so this tag team was originally just me and my boy. Now, obviously you hear flashers, and if your mind is as twisted as mine, I can only imagine what the first thing you think of is. But the reason I did that was because Tea Time, Flash, and together we're the Prime Tag Team. We come out and we make a Flash, not that kind of Flash, a PG Flash. We basically just come in and like drop a flashbang grenade on whoever we're fighting. How about that? And then once I decided to add Caleb Cole and Rena Reyes into the mix, I threw Caleb in with me and Flash. Redemption, this is the tag team I was talking about that Stiff Mike was a part of, so obviously I put that one together. Alright, so these are a little different. So me, Spike, Leon, Flash, and Caleb are all one big group. But in this case, we've got two different groups with two different names. So, because this is the team that I had for myself, again, since like 2014, and I wanted that to carry over. The role models, I give them this name ironically because, you know, Bayley and Sasha Banks in WWE called themselves the role models, and they were not fit to be role models to anybody, whereas these two actually are, because, you know, they're happy, they bring a good high energy into the mix. Scrunchy Squad, the tag team name is literally based off Becca, and I just kind of threw Ava in there with her. This was a custom pairing. Oh yeah, this was also a pairing of my own design. These two, to the best of my knowledge, have not wrestled together. Again, a custom pairing, Sladen Goods. I don't even know why. I just figured this could be an interesting mix. Slaughterhouse, Mortar and Meatball Subs, I mean Smashmaster. As far as I know, these two are still a tag team, or at least they were the last time I saw them both together. Smoked Nuts. So, I mean, the guy's last name is Cashew. That opens the door to all kinds of nuts jokes. And, you know, Ricky Smokes used to be Ricky Archer, but then according to him, he killed Ricky Archer. You know, he smoked him. So, Smoked Nuts. That's how I'm justifying it. Team Sea Stars. Again, this actually is a real tag team on the independent wrestling world. And it's absolutely a no-brainer to put this in here. We've got the other unit that I put together before I discovered Trigger the OG, so this is... And again, I don't know how many of these pairings I've taken from, like, you know, websites and stuff are up to date or out of date, but basically if I saw a tag team or two guys together that looked like they could function as a tag team, I put them in the tag team division. Unstable, this is a... To the best of my knowledge, this is a custom pairing of Copeland and Hendricks. And, yeah, Unstable, because... Why did I do that? The last time I saw Kennedy Copeland wrestle, she was pretty damn vicious in the ring, which, again, was fun to watch. And, yeah, I figured... again, when it comes to tag team names, they're not really my strong suit. It just... Pretty much whatever comes to mind, I put it in there. Venom, to the best of my knowledge, actually was the tag team name for Mowgli and Brody at one point, so that's just what I went with for them. And then Wrecking Crew. Okay, so they... Okay, I gotta be careful with this one. Alright, listen. I'm not picking on anybody for their body size because my body size is somewhere in the ballpark of like 4XL. So these two are bigger women, and therefore it stands to reason that they can wreck anyone they get in the ring with. So I gave them the tag team name of Wrecking Crew, mostly because I have no idea what their actual tag team name is. But I do have these two as a face tag team, and let me tell you, I've tested them out in a couple matches, and I did indeed wreck my opponents. So I'm using it with endearing intentions. I'm not trying to use it as a a body shaming thing, because again, I'm not a small person myself. All right, that's the regular tag teams. So mixed tag teams. This was a whole lot of copy and paste. Blue Shadow Fire for the blue-haired people. Dark Fire for the originals. Fire Flash for my boy and his manager. The Green Shadow Fire for green hair and his yellow hair. Originally, I was going to have the girls have the same color hair as the guys, but there was too much conflict going on with the existing outfit colors, and as I said, my creative energy was a little low that day, and I really didn't want to make 8 brand new custom designs. But, I mean, again, ultimately, I think the way it came out is for the best in the end. Large and lovely. Leon's large and Leah's lovely. That's a no-brainer. The Olympians. So, the reason for this is I actually originally based Spike off of Kurt Angle, as far as like music and movesets and stuff goes. So, I mean, yeah, I pretty much just used it. The Orange Shadow Fire for Xander and Azaria. Out of This World for Caleb Conley and Chris Statlander. The reason for that being is that Chris Statlander's gimmick is that she came from space, which, me being the weird combination of taste that I am and loving both fantasy and sci-fi, I love her gimmick. Package deal is Caleb Cole and Rena Reyes. The package deal tag team name is a direct nod to the career mode story of 2K20. And then we have Red Shadow Fire for Victor and Raylin. The Renegades is myself and Liane. And then, so my cousin is actually training to be a wrestler, and I gotta be honest, I'm jealous because I wanted to go and do that when I was younger, and I was basically told I couldn't, and I didn't have the balls to frickin' step up and say F you, yes I can. But I'm also super, super, super happy for her that she gets to do it, and I hope she takes it all the way and does everything she wants to do with it. So based on her training and who she's training with, I put her in a mixed tag team with Monty. I wanted to have more mixed tag teams than just our original characters, so we've got 14 mixed tag teams right now. I may even try to throw together 2 more in the future so we can do a mixed match challenge tournament, but I mean I can always just temporarily pair 2 people together for that too, as opposed to actually making the teams, but we'll decide that later. Okay, so for our championships. Now, Creative Championship is actually incredibly limited in this game. It gives you excuse me, again, it gives you 14 to 16 preset strap designs, but then you have to kind of build around what those strap designs are, or they come out looking all messed up. So originally, of course, I just made the heavyweight championship. My boy was very insistent that we make the belt blue like it used to be, which I'm fine with. I think the blue strap looked better than the black strap. So this has always been blue. The women's championship was originally a white strap. The New England championship was originally a black strap, and the tag team belts were originally a black strap. Now again, with the exception of the heavyweight championships, this is not what any of the belts looked like. I simply did the best I could with the assets in the game, same as the wrestlers. Now, what I did was I changed the women's title strap to pink. I changed the men's tag team to orange. I changed the New England to green. Then I said, okay, you know what? We're making a roster of 100 people. We need more titles. So I made a set of women's tag team championships, which was actually a very, 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 very early change. Then I said, okay, you know what? We've got a men's New England champion. Let's make a women's New England champion. And then I made the Extreme Men and Women's Championships. So here's how these work. Obviously, you can't program this into the game. You've got to do it all manually. But these two championships will only ever be defended in specialty matches. So there will never be a standard rules match for these two championships. It's going to be something along the lines of Extreme Rules, or a TLC, or a Steel Cage, or a Hell in a Cell, or we'll defend it in an Elimination Chamber. Like, only specialty matches. And like the whole division for these championships, like number one contenders matches, regular matches, they will only be contested in specialty matches. So anyway, we have in alphabetical order. Oh, come on, really? Yeah, I got a lot of shit on my taskbar. Don't mind that. Ooh, I have a lot of poopy on my taskbar. So we have the APW Extreme Championship, APW Heavyweight, APW Tag Teams, APW Women's Heavyweight Championship. There's only so much text to allow for the names, so it is kind of limited. Women's Extreme Championship, Women's Tag Team Championship, Men's New England, Women's New England. Now, I did also make custom Money in the Bank briefcases for the Men's and Women's Extreme Championships and the Men's and Women's Heavyweight Championships. So this is already decided. This will carry over into our universe mode, and they'll have like 3 months of in-game time to use the briefcases before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view comes around. Okay, so the only thing we really I want to show you, and I know this video is already running a little bit long, but I mean, you know, obviously I'm not going to be like, yo, hey, did you watch this yet? I mean, I'm putting this up here because I want to. I mean, anybody who chooses to watch it, obviously watch it at your own pace. I'm not gonna like dictate what you watch and when you watch it. I'm not one of those kind of YouTubers. So these games for a long time have had a mode called Universe Mode. Oh shit, oh poopy, I didn't do the custom arenas yet. Yeah, forget this. Hang on. Actually, you know what? We don't need to go over each of the arenas. We can just do it right from here. So, in Universe Mode, you can create your own whole calendar of shows. So, what I did here was I got rid of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and I figured it out that if we do 4 shows a week with 6 matches each, and make sure that at least one of those matches are a tag team match, that roughly every week 50 wrestlers should be able to compete. So if I was actually planning out like a real wrestling promotion myself, so you've got 50 people wrestling one week, 50 people wrestling the next week, everybody only wrestles every couple weeks, which would, maybe make it so people get injured less often. But so we have the original APW Live Arena that I made, then APW Prime, which obviously I played favorites and just named that one after myself. Then we have APW Flash, which I of course once again played favorites and named after AJ's character. And then APW Extreme, which is it's Extreme. So what I have done, alright, so I thought you could have the Money in the Bank briefcases assigned to more than one show. You can't. So I'll go into how I set up the actual shows in a second, but I took the I took the arenas that made the most sense for how I named the shows, and these are shows that we've actually been to as far as some of the names go. So this is the show right after WrestleMania. I'm calling it Reprisal based on a show that me and my boy had been to before. So it made sense that for Reprisal we used the WrestleMania Backlash Arena. Bash at the Beach I turned into Beach Bar Brawl. Money in the Bank we're calling Opportunity Knocks. SummerSlam we're calling Summer Dreams. Hell in a Cell we're calling Behind Bars. Ooh, that might offend somebody. Oh well, it's done, too late. Halloween Havoc is going to be called Haunted Havoc. I know, what's the difference? I could have just left it. Survivor Series, which is infamous for the 5-on-5 matches, we're going to call Equilibrium. Again, most of these pay-per-view names that I did are based off the names of shows that me and my boy have attended in the past. Fast Lane is going to be the numbers game. The gimmick for that show is going to be, it's all going to be like Triple Threat or Fatal 4-Way or 6-Man. There's not going to be a single singles match one-on-one in that show. The Royal Rumble, Total Elimination we're going to call it. Elimination Chamber we're going to call No Escape. Payback we're going to call Crossroads because it's like the final fork in the road before WrestleMania. And since I'm probably only going to do one full year of Universe Mode for this this project, shall we say, I've decided to call our WrestleMania Endgame. Tony Stark is not going to die. It's not that kind of Endgame. It's just that'll probably be the last one that I do for recordings for this. Because, considering that... So, I work long hours. So doing recordings after work is not really an option. So this is going to be a weekend thing for, when I don't have to worry about work and my boy doesn't have to worry about school. Not like, Mondays through Friday where I go to work, he goes to school, and we have, no time left by the time we both get home. Y'all know how it is. But, yeah, so that's the Universe Mode. And then if we go into the shows, so the original, so basically, every show, the 2 New England titles and the tag team titles will be featured on every show. The heavyweight titles will only be featured on the APW Live and the APW Flash. And the Extreme Championships will only be featured on APW Prime and APW Extreme. Alright, so I think I have sufficiently explained exactly what these WWE 2K videos are going to consist of. I'd like to say briefly, but this actually ran twice as long as I thought it would. I've shown you all the wrestlers that I've made. You've seen the logos for the arenas. I showed you Universe Mode, the tag teams. Yeah. So as of the time of recording this, we actually are working on our first recorded show or set of matches to determine who our starting champions will be as I finish migrating everything over to Universe Mode. So So I do plan to finish that up today. I did confer with my associate, my boy, and if I have to do the rest of those matches without him, I will, just so we can get this first actual match gameplay video up. But yeah, stay tuned for that one to show up later on. And yeah, just like with the other gaming videos I put on here, if you took the time to watch this, I thank you. If you did take the time to watch it, I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, this one really wasn't very action-packed because it's all just explanation and showcasing, but we'll get to the matches. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm good at these games, and my boy is good at these games, but as I said, we're already in the progress of recording our first show, and once I told him I was recording, he got, like, stage fright and isn't playing as good as he normally is, so I'm kind of dumbing down how good I play to match it, so bear with us on the first few shows until he finds his comfort zone and I can start playing against him accordingly, because I gotta tell you, off screen, this kid's been whooping my you-know-what on this game left and right, and I'm aggravated, but at the same time, I'm damn proud, and it sounds like he's awake, so this is definitely a good time to stop this. Yeah, again, thanks for watching. First video with like an actual show of matches coming up, hopefully before today's over.